Chapter 1. The Calamity in the Clouds. The world is a blur of steel and sky. Trapped in the wreckage, I fight through a haze of pain and confusion. The stench of jet fuel is a sharp contrast to the acrid smell of burning that invades my senses. With effort, I free myself from the aluminum's grip. Every breath is an agony. I'll never forget my wife's scream, the sound that marked the end of everything. I saw her life snatched away as the plane broke apart. A brutal, undeniable truth. Now, a void lingers where her presence used to comfort me. The roar of destruction still resonates, a testament to that cruel moment. My daughter's fate remains uncertain. As the plane disintegrated, I vaguely saw her, still strapped to her seat, a beacon of hope in the chaos. That image drives me now as I search through the scattered dreams strewn across the forest floor. The woods offer no sympathy, just shadows that conceal as much as they reveal. Each step is a silent plea. Every heartbeat is a call to arms against the fear that stalks me. The forest floor bears the scars of the tragedy, with streaks of red amidst the greenery. These marks tell a story of violence and loss, a story I'm still a part of. Plain debris lies scattered around like discarded toys. A child's toy amidst the fragments strikes a painful chord. These remnants are a stark reminder of the fragility of our existence, swept away in an instant. Physical pain laces my body, a network of bruises and cuts, yet it's the internal wound that's most profound. Driven by the need to find her, to defy what fate has decreed, I press on. The detritus of the crash beckons like a ghastly puzzle to be solved. And then, a sight that cuts through the fog of my despair. The once bright pink of my daughter's sneakers, now grimy and tattered, lay eerily still. They were attached to a small severed leg, a stark reminder of the crash's violence and a harrowing confirmation of my worst fear. These sneakers, once full of joy in our home, now marked an unimaginable loss. My heart broke, yet it steeled my resolve. I picked up the lifeless leg and carried it with me, thinking perhaps the doctors would be able to save this leg. The slightest hope that my daughter might be able to walk again fueled my resolve. I refused to let this be her end. The vision of her buckled in her seat ignited a fervent hope she might be alive. I vowed to search the unforgiving wilds, clinging to the hope that somehow she had survived. The possibility that she survived is the thread I cling to. It's a frail thread, but it's unbreakable. I saw her resilience as the world tore open. With this thread of hope, I push back against despair. The forest might yet yield her to me, and I'm determined to navigate its every challenge to find her. As daylight wanes, shadows grow, weaving with my fears. But I'm not swayed. The trees might whisper of loss, but I listen for signs of life, a father's love, the only torch in this growing night. Darkness may be closing in, but we are still here. Not today will it take us. Chapter 2. The Desperate Search. My blood turns to ice, a chilling grasp tightening around my heart. Cradled in my arms is a piece of my beloved child, her leg. Its weight feels monstrous, surpassing even the oppressive heaviness of the lead-gray sky overhead. I clutch the severed limb with grotesque hope, harboring the notion that it could be the lifeline to her survival. The possibility of reattachment flickers in my mind, a feeble flame wrestling with the violent winds of reality. Smoke weaves between the trees, a spectral guide leading me toward an uncertain destiny. I pull myself across the ravaged earth, where each action is an epic endeavor. Branches scrape my skin, while unseen creatures scurry away from my wild, desperate trek. The forest, once a sanctuary of tranquility, has mutated into a sinister being. Every whisper among the leaves carries a threat. Exhaustion is my relentless foe, its tendrils ensnaring my limbs, a grim reminder of my human limits. My mind trudges through a dense haze of fatigue, each step a defiance of the impulse to succumb. The emotional burden haunts each thought, a specter whispering tales of loss and despair. With nightfall, the forest takes on a more menacing guise. The dimming light casts the trees as looming phantoms, and the undergrowth teems with hidden terrors. The snap of a twig mimics a gunshot, the rustle of leaves a distant scream. I am a solitary warrior in this vast, unforgiving arena. My daughter, the precious victory I cannot concede. The rhythmic pulse of helicopter blades overhead briefly elevates my spirits, a glimmer of hope in the encroaching gloom. But the sound fades, whisked away by the wind, as though the very storm seeks to sever our connection. The realization of our profound isolation bears down on me with a crushing despair. Yet the concept of surrender has been expunged from my lexicon. I forge ahead, bearing the emblem of my daughter's fierce struggle for survival, into the night that now swallows all light. The darkness is relentless, but it is matched by the tenacity of a father's love. Against unfathomable odds, I continue my search, fueled by the slimmest hope that her voice might break through the stifling silence. Chapter 3. The Relentless Night. In the abyss of night I stumble, clutching the grisly relic of my daughter's leg as though it were a macabre compass. This severed limb serves as a grotesque reminder of the fragility of flesh, a testament to the precarious thread of life itself. The smoke, now a serpent dissolving into darkness, leaves a ghostly trail through the suffocating gloom. Memories, as sharp as the shards of the shattered plane, pierce me with every heartbeat. Her face haunts the twisted patterns of the trees, her laughter echoes in the night breeze's cruel mimicry. The pain of her absence is a living entity within me, a relentless parasite feasting on sorrow. The forest, once a sanctuary of natural solace, has turned adversary. Branches conspire to ensnare, and roots lay waiting to betray. Each thorn that tears at my skin feels like a personal betrayal. Every shadow casts a specter of dread. The darkness is a smothering blanket, heavy with the stench of decay and the silent secrets of the dead. The first light of dawn appears as a cruel taunt, a false promise of hope as it reveals the carnage left by the night's frantic search. Amidst the dew and remnants of disaster lies her blood-soaked backpack, a grim marker in this perverse tale. My heart lurches, caught between the relief of finding a sign of her and the horror of what the blood may mean. Next to the backpack, her watch lies shattered, its hands frozen at the exact moment our world splintered. I clutch it, the cold metal biting against the fever of my skin, and each second that ticks by feels like an eternity of anguish, a step further from the time before the fall. As the morning light strengthens, it unveils the monstrous reality of the night. The forest is more than just a backdrop for my suffering. It stands as a silent accuser. The signs of my daughter's struggle are there, clear, tangible proof that she has fought for life with the same fierce defiance that's always defined her. With this revelation, a fierce purpose rekindles within me, the evidence of her survival stoking a fire that burns through my fatigue. Driven by the promise that she is near, each clue beckons me deeper into the labyrinth of despair. I will find her, or I will offer my last breath to the forest that seems eager to claim us both. Chapter 4. The Trail of Blood. As dawn breaks, a scarlet thread weaves through the underbrush, a macabre tapestry spun from my daughter's life force. The blood trail, both harrowing and beckoning, pulls at my core, a potent mix of dread and desperation. Each droplet narrates her resilience and fear, staining the forest floor with her harrowing tale. Battling through the brambles, I face thorns that slice into my skin, as though punishing me for clinging to hope. The blood serves as a morbid guide, leading me through the labyrinthine woods. My heart is caught in a tumultuous dance, oscillating between the thrill of her potential nearness and the horror of what I might find at the trail's end. The terrain undulates beneath me, as if mimicking the breathing of a giant at rest. Each rise a trial, each dip a fleeting solace. Sounds of my struggle reverberate through the forest, the snap of twigs underfoot, the rustling leaves whispering tales of those long lost. I navigate this expanse alone, pushed onward by the raw, unstoppable force of parental love. A sudden chasm in the earth diverts me from the crimson path, the interruption mocking me. Time, my silent foe, sneers at every deviation. Skirting around the gap, my thoughts churn with urgency and fear, the delay a sharp reminder that with each passing moment, my daughter's flame could be snuffed out. A distant cry shatters the stillness, a plea that tugs at my very soul. Another survivor, another life teetering on the brink. Every fiber of my being urges me to respond, to offer comfort to another in pain. Yet, the call of my daughter's blood is louder, its silent screams drowning out all else. With a heart hardened by necessity, I push forward, abandoning the cry behind. Each step a searing imprint on my conscience. I press on, driven by the hope of finding her alive. It's this hope that quickens my pace, each sign of her ordeal a grim testament to the chaos she's faced. The echoes of her defiance stir within me, and together, in this merciless tango with fate, we advance toward an uncertain rendezvous. The forest seems to hold its breath as I venture deeper into the heart of the unknown. Chapter 5. The Heartbreaking Discovery. As I stepped into the clearing, it felt as though the universe had drawn back a curtain to reveal a tragic tableau, lit by the unforgiving spotlight of truth. The earth was upturned, and the trees around bore the weight of sorrow, their branches drooping like mourners at a vigil. In the center lay my daughter, a fragile echo of the exuberant spirit she once was, her form etched with the cruel marks of violence. I dropped to my knees beside her, the damp grass beneath us absorbing the silent testament of our anguish. Her eyelids fluttered, delicate veils over the depths of her suffering, reflecting the gathering storm clouds that hung heavy with foreboding. Cradling her like a bird with wounded wings, her pulse was a faint whisper against the howling wind of her injuries. Her voice, when it came, was a mere wisp of sound, a fragile lifeline in the vast quietude. Every word she uttered was more precious to me than a chorus of angels, and I hung on each one, even as they etched fresh wounds into my already scarred heart. I tried to envelop her in comfort, my assurances as insubstantial as shadows against the looming darkness. I wrapped her in the warmth of my love, a feeble guard against the encroaching night. My hushed words were impassioned prayers, vows of ceaseless vigilance, even as it seemed the stars had closed their eyes to our plight. In that clearing, we were isolated in our despair, encased by a silent forest that stood as a testament to our ordeal. The quiet seemed to expand, consuming all our whispered dreams. The impending storm mirrored the disarray that had led us to this fateful moment. I held my daughter close, her heartbeat a defiant drummette against the rissing cacophony of thunder. There, in that small clearing, we were simply father and daughter. Our bond of blood and love, the only certainty in a world that had become alien in its cruelty. As the storm unleashed its fury, the rain fell in torrents, tears from the heavens that fused with those on our cheeks. The downpour drew a veil around us, severing the last ties to our past. Adrift in the heart of the tempest, we were survivors clinging to the debris of our shattered existence. And yet, amidst the clatter of rain and the rage of thunder, an inexplicable tranquility enveloped us, a consignment to fate, an acceptance of the now. Our togetherness became a sanctuary, a quiet defiance in the face of life's tumult. In the eye of the storm, our world was reduced to the beat of two hearts, father and daughter, intertwined in the delicate dance of survival, holding on to hope that seemed as distant as a whisper in the night.